Okay, so we've got an error and we're pretty sure about what caused the error because when we added the include photos, that's what caused the problem. And this is not an entity framework problem because we can see where this is coming from. It's coming from our JSON serializer. Now we don't do anything directly in our API controller to serialize our response from our methods here. We're just returning OK and the users, and we're returning the user here. But this user at this stage is an app user, and it's a C# class. But we don't return C# objects in an HTTP response. That gets serialized into JSON and then returned to the client. But when our JSON serializer is trying to serialize this, it takes a look at our objects, and we have this app user object. And if we take a look at the properties inside this app user object, then one of the properties is that list of photos, and we're including that now. So now it has to serialize also the photos as well. And if we take a look at the photo class, then inside here we've got our photo, but then we've also got our navigation properties for the app user. Now JSON serializer is not entity framework, and it doesn't have any facility in place to deal with this, so it thinks it needs to serialize the app user along with the photo, then it tries to serialize the photo, and then it thinks, oh, I need to serialize an app user. And then it goes to the app user and it says, oh, I need to serialize some photos. And then it goes to the photos and that repeats, and that's why we end up with this possible object cycle was detected. So that's the problem. And what is the solution? Well, the solution is to go back to DTOs. We need to return something from our API, but we're not really returning what we want to yet anyway. We're returning currently the password hash and the password salt. And we've also got an issue with our photos as well, because they contain the navigation properties. So we need to shape the data that we want to return. And one way we can do that is by using DTOs. So let's go back to Solution Explorer in our DTOs folder. And we're going to create a new class. And we're going to call it member DTO. And inside this class, we're going to define the properties that we want to return when a user requests a list of users. So we'll go to our app user and let's just copy everything. The public int ID all the way down to the list of photos, and let's copy all of this and drop it into our member DTO. And we're going to make some changes, of course, to this. Now we'll keep the ID, we do want to return that. We want to return the username, but we do not want to make these required because this will cause a problem with the tool that we're going to use to help us map these different properties. So we're going to make these strings optional. We'll remove the password hash and the password salt. We're not going to return those, but we'll also return the age instead of the date of birth. So we're going to have an int for the age, and we'll not return the date of birth. And also inside here, we'll add a prop that's a string, and we'll say photo URL. We'll return the user's main photo with this. And once again, because it's a string and we're inside a DTO, we're just going to make this one optional as well. Again, we'll take out the required and we'll make the known as optional. The created and the last active we'll keep, but we'll take away the initialization of these. So we'll remove the date time now. The gender we'll keep, but we'll make it optional with the question mark here. And we'll do the same for the city. We'll make that optional, and we'll do the same for the country, and again make that optional. And instead of returning a list of photos, we're going to return a list of photo DTOs. And we'll do the same with this. We'll remove the initialized property there, but we'll make this optional by using the question mark after the photo DTO. And we'll put our cursor inside photo DTO, and we'll generate class photo DTO. And then we'll use the quick fix again to move it into its own type of photo DTO.cs. And the error goes away from here now. So inside the photo DTO, let's go to our Explorer. And do we have the correct namespace here? So I've got namespace of API here. And in the photo DTO, okay, so it just picks up the same namespace. And let's adjust this and say the namespace for the member DTO is going to be DTOs, and we'll do the same for the photo one as well. Okay, and then for the photo DTO, we're going to return a prop of the int and ID. We'll return a prop of the string of the URL, again using the optional flag, and we'll also use a boolean for the isMain property. So we need an approach or a way to, when we return from our users controller, instead of returning a list of users or a list of app users, we need a way to effectively convert that into a member DTO and return that from our API controllers so that we do not run into the issue with the JSON serializer. And we're going to use a tool to help us with this, and next we're going to take a look at AutoMapper.